I would like to participate in the take note debate, in particular respect of the answer that was given to the question by my colleague, the Honourable Rose Jackson, with regards to the comparison across electricity networks, where you have the Western Australian network fully publicly owned and the New South Wales network privatised. And the answer was once again revealing from the Leader of the Government, where he pivoted to, oh, well, you know, we've done a lot with renewable energy and there's renewable energy coming online. And then towards the end of the question, he said, look, there's a whole range of factors that influence electricity prices, in what was a quasi-recognition of, it's somewhat bizarre and contradictory, because he was implicitly recognising that privatisation didn't work, and yesterday he was doubling down on privatisation. And it's a very interesting debate which is emerging in the lead up to this election, Mr Deputy President, because on this side we recognise that after the failed experiment of some 20 to 30 years of privatisation, where the government's been selling off monopoly assets, a transfer of wealth from the public into the private sector, where it's not subject to competition, and the consumer's paying through the nose. We've learnt that lesson, and we're saying no more, no more. The game's up. On that side of the House, they're consistently doubling down, saying, we think we should have more. We reckon the recycling projects work very well because we've bought all these assets which were allegedly going to be productive for the New South Wales economy. Let's go through some of those assets. The new intercity fleet, billions and billions of dollars of overrun because you had safety issues you had to fix. They didn't fit trains. They didn't fit tracks. They didn't fit tunnels. You had asbestos-ridden ferries which didn't fit under bridges. Is this the way you run an economy? Selling good assets that were producing cheap, reliable electricity to the public of New South Wales, and then pouring it into dodgy assets that were made overseas and exporting jobs? That's the way they want to run this economy. We don't want to run it that way. We want to keep things in public hands, especially monopoly assets which are providing a benefit to the public, and we want to have domestic manufacturing so we don't have the stuff-ups that we saw happen previously. So this is a very, very interesting debate, because on the one side of the House, on the government side, they are absolutely committed to the further program of privatisation. You've said that, you won't rule it out. Just remember, Mr Deputy President, we've got half of Ausgrid, half of Endeavour and all of Essential Energy, which are up for grabs if this government gets re-elected. And I think the public of New South Wales have woken up after the failed experiment, and they will not reward a government who continues to go down this path. On the other hand, if they elect an opposition, they know that they won't get further asset sales under us.